Hi, everyone. My name is Slu, and yes, I am back here with Jamie. Welcome to another episode of hashtag the dissection. Are you ready for John versus Jamie? Are you ready, Jamie?
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But it was interesting to see John say that he can out debate anyone in politics, even those who have, PhDs. I was like, whoa, this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, with your matric, you already know that you can out debate all of these. What did you think when you saw that?
I thought it was very ambitious, but I've also noticed that lately John seems to be going off on a tangent of just saying things that don't please a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised, but I thought that was very, very ambitious of him. But it got me thinking about something, Jamie, the value of debate and party leader debates. What do you think?
So I do think that debating in and of itself gets a bad rep. And part of the reason why it gets a bad rep is because of all of the YouTube type of debate content that has been created, the right wing type of debate me bro type of content.
Okay.
And that's not fundamentally what debate is about. Debate is a structured discussion between two sides. It's an intellectual discussion on a controversial or unresolved question to try to get to the bottom of the different opinions, views of that particular thing based on facts and logic. So it's a structured intellectual discussion based on facts and logic on two or more opposing sides, right? With emphasis on that facts and logic side. So when you look at other nations, America, the UK, etc., they still have a culture of debating.
Yeah.
Presidential candidates will debate.
Yeah.
And those debates have had a material impact on how the public views the candidates and also how the public understands. So if you just come and present your speech, your version at a panel discussion or whatever, it's now reliant on a journalist to unpack particular things. And that journalist may not be willing to do that because they want to maintain a relationship with you or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
In a competition, it is useful to have a political rival to actually show us where the contradictions are, where the omissions are, and sometimes where the lies may be. So imagine a situation if Cyril Ramaphosa was speaking and Julius Malema was speaking after him in a direct debate format. There are certain things that Julius would be able to point out and call out that then President Ramaphosa would have to respond to. And that's good. That's healthy. You know, it helped Barack Obama. It helped several people, right, to actually show why they were credible options as opposed to incumbents. So I think it helps. It helps. And I do value debates in general.
Yeah. I mean, you are the king of debating,
No,
so get it.
I like debating.
But on a more serious note, when you look at our political system in South Africa, we don't necessarily have presidential candidates. How do you think we could structure that? Do you think maybe?
But we do kind of. We have premier candidates, right?
That's what I was coming to.
People know who the premier candidate is, and they also know who's the presidential candidate.
Right.
It's a parliamentary system, which is parliament votes.
Okay.
But we all know who is being put up by each party,
right,
and who is the leader of each party. So I think there's value to understanding what does that particular leader think and believe on particular things, right? The current format that we have where everyone is just going to panel discussions, going to speak at conferences, Daily Maverick, or Biz News and Q&As only, that is not a good format for helping the public understand.
Why not?
What the contradictions are.
Okay.
What the issues may be. And that's why you need to have a rival with skin in the game. Because if it's ANC versus EFF, DA versus Build One South Africa, or whatever the case may be, those two people are competing for the same vote. So it's on my mandate as your rival to show the people where you are legitimate and where you are illegitimate. That's not always exposed, especially if you think about President Ramaphosa. Who is really going to push him on certain kinds of questions?
Sure.
For instance, who's going to ask him, why haven't you fired Pravin Gordhan? Who's going to ask him that question?
Yeah.
Is any journalist who's going to ask him that question when they think, well, I could be, a government spokesperson 6 years from now or 3 years from now, or I could lose my job if my editors are unhappy with the level of aggression that I'm taking. So journalists in South Africa often pull back as opposed to really go in on particular questions. And that can be an issue. But if he's going against Julius, John, Musi, Songezo, Gayton, they will be able to say, these are the issues with this dude.
Yeah.
These are the issues with their manifesto.
Yeah.
And he will have to defend that. And it's different. You know, in Parliament, the president gives a speech, State of the Nation, and then a whole bunch of MPs come and argue why he's right on the ANC side, etc. Then he responds after. It's not the same as a direct head-to-head debate.
Yeah.
Direct head-to-head debates have value. And they are part of, I think, a healthy process of decision making.
Yeah.
The point of an election is to help the public make the best decision for themselves. And it helps them to see people who are rivals, right, actually argue directly about the issues of the country, the issues of their manifesto, and try to persuade the public why those particular things are good or bad. But unfortunately, as things stand right now, debating has gotten this reputation where it's just this right-wing thing that people want to do to grandstand, etc., etc. And we've lost the academic integrity and value of that level of scholarship. This thing didn't fall out of the sky. It has been historically a part of democracy, a part of intellectualism, and a part of knowledge building. Because if your ideas are weak, they can be exposed directly in the furnace of a debate.
Yeah.
They can be exposed. And if your ideas are strong, they will stand the test of time because you, when confronted by a rival, were able to respond contemporaneously to questions that you were asked about that particular thing. So even now, there are still great debate platforms, IQ Squared. There's a few international debate platforms that are still worthy of following and watching. But imagine what would happen if you could have, you know, Julius versus, Ramaphosa, Steenhuisen versus Ramaphosa, Julius versus Steenhuisen, and so on and so forth. That would help the public really see who's who and what's what. And I think that's valuable. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. Even if you look at the American system right now, Joe Biden avoided debates. Donald Trump didn't go to the debates, right? And what that did is it protected them from certain level of scrutiny, even though there were other political rivals in the race. So globally now, people who feel like they're in power and that there's a risk to them taking a debate will avoid the debate. But do I think that's healthy? No. Do I think debating is necessary? Yes.
Do you think party leaders should debate? Do you think we should have a John versus Jamie? But would love to hear what your thoughts are. Let us know in the comment section.